Hey Siri, what fantasy sports podcast should I listen to?
Beast the Odds. Fantasy sports and sports investing with your host, 12-time DFS champion qualifier and counting, 5-time MLB Fantasy Pros HR champion, back-to-back years.
Mantradamus.
Beastdome Nation! It is February 16th. Well, I was about to say the year I was born, but it's actually my birthday today. February 16th, I turned the big 33. That's a lot of fingers right there, but yeah, that is 33. Anyways, it's a great to be alive for another year. So many blessings, including you, the Beastdome Nation, for joining me year after year. You know, this was the first Sunday, this past Sunday, all for whatever, it feels like eternity, that we have not had a football Sunday. And I gotta say, it hit me deep down inside. I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do with this, like, not preparation for football time? Because literally, I dedicated so much of my weekend to just literally sitting in this chair right here and not moving, pretty much from Friday when I got home from work all the way through the end of Sunday, just rewatching tape, rewatching everything, watching everything live, and doing all the daily fantasy stuff. So anyways, it's a new year. Feels like a new year. We start off every episode like every episode, and we open a pack of cards. We got the 2018 Panini Contenders. We're looking for the Josh Rosen rookie card. Of course, a Josh Allen rookie card. Why do they make these so hard to... All right, one of these times I'm going to be able to open this pack without having to use something else. All right, so here's our cards. Let's see what we got. Robbie Anderson with the Jets bust. Oh, is this Mahomes? It is Mahomes. Season ticket is probably a $4 card. Put that one to the good pile. Gerald McCoy. Too bad he wasn't with the Bucks this season. Then they would have really been dominant. Marvin Jones Jr., old Beastdome legend. Look at that, an MVP contender, Deshaun Watson. Soon not to be on the Texans. And we're going to get to a topic that's very similar to this on the show tonight. And we'll even talk about Watson in it. So stay tuned for that. Kenyon Drake, I'm on one. Alex Smith, the one-legged wonder. Juju Smith-Schuster, I'm trying to see if there's another card. There isn't. Was that 8 cards? I don't know if we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they gave us a pack. Whatever. Usually there's like a kid reporter thing on the back, so you know that it's done. Anyway, so that was that pack of cards. Pretty much, well, $1, $3, whatever. Anyway, so let's go over the topics we're going to cover today. First, we're going to do a little Major League Baseball preview of the National League. We're going to talk about Draymond Green and his comments the other night about, well, you'll get to that. It's basically about players and owners, and it's just completely ridiculous. And then third, we're going to talk about the Lakers and what they're going to do without Anthony Davis. So let's start with the show with the National League preview. Now, baseball definitely has its flaws, and one of those flaws is that some teams decide to spend no money, and some teams decide to spend money like it's going out of style. So let's first talk about the National League East, because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the New York Mets have opened up their checkbook to such an extent where they literally have 2 to 3 major league teams within their one team. It's absolutely stupid what the Mets have done. They added so much talent that they're not even going to be able to play Major League Baseball quality starters every single day. And pitchers. Pitchers are going to be in the minor league rotations like Joey Lucchesi. He's not going to be with the Mets starting 5. And this guy was one of the aces. Well, he wasn't an ace for the Padres, but he was definitely one of their reliable starters. And he's not the only guy. They also got Jordan Yamato from the Marlins last year. He's now going to be in the minor leagues with the Mets. Like, I don't know what the Mets are doing. Jonathan VR, he's going to He might play every day on this team. They got Albert Almora Jr., who's probably going to be in the minor leagues. Jose Martinez, a guy who was hitting cleanup for the Cardinals 2 years ago. He's going to be in the minor leagues. Like, what's the point of spending all this money? Yes, they have a great team this year and they will compete, but the National League East is tough. Forget about the Marlins. They're garbage. Even though they made the playoffs last year, they're not going to make it this year with how good these NL East teams are. Mets will sweep them. The Braves are strong as well. The Braves added Charlie Morton. That was such a great addition. He's going to be a great fantasy pitcher this year. And if there's one thing that you get from this episode for your fantasy baseball team, that's probably going to be it. The Nationals, they made improvements as well. They got Jordan Bell, which was a great addition to the middle of that lineup. And I know we're forgetting a team, the Mets, the Braves. I did mention the Braves, the Nationals, the Marlins. That's 5. All right, well, I guess that's 5. So anyways, you got basically 4 teams that can compete and then the Marlins. So National League East, that'll be an interesting division. But the rest of the National League is just horrible. The NL Central, you got the Cubs and you got the Cardinals. Now, these are 2 teams that have good enough hitting to win pretty much any single game, and their pitching staffs, well, the Cubs decided they don't need a pitching staff this year. They're relying on Trevor Williams. All right, there's another fancy name for you. That is going to be the ace of this rotation, and while Trevor Williams is good, he's not an ace of a winning ball club. So the Cubs really decided that they're going to just have a good offense and a horrible pitching staff. But the rest of the NL Central, well, the Reds are not bad either. They still got their core hitters with Moustakas, Votto, Suarez, Castle, and they also got Sonny Gray and Luis Castillo. But the rest of that team, I mean, they got some talent, so they're not bad. I'm kind of over-exaggerating here. But the other 2 teams, the Pirates and the Brewers. Now, the Brewers have Christian Yelich at the top of his game, and they literally have a worse team now than the Marlins did when Yelich was there, and they traded him away. So the Brewers should be smart, because they're not going to win anytime soon with what they got unless they make some massive trades, because this team has no pitching, and all they have is Christian Yelich and Harua. But, I mean, Houston, he's good, but he's not good enough to be a number 3 hitter, number 4 hitter, wherever they put him in the middle of that lineup, or at number 2. He's all right, but he's not a superstar. And then the Pirates just gave up. They got rid of Josh Bell, and they're like, all right, Gregory Polanco, you're our best guy. And while I love Gregory Polanco more than anyone in the world, he will not be able to do any damage with that team. So basically, you got the Cardinals winning the NL Central before the season even begins. And then this is what really gets me, the NL West. Now, yes, you have the Dodgers who are spending money like there's no tomorrow, and that's no surprise because that's just what the Dodgers have been doing. But then you got teams that are completely tanking, like the Giants. I don't know why the Giants have been playing baseball this year. They have a pitching staff that's been over the hill for the past 5 years. They got a hitting lineup that's basically been over the hill for the past 5 years as well. To rely on Buster Posey and Brandon Belt as your 3-4 hitters this many years in, and it's never worked, I don't know what the Giants are doing. And then the Rockies gave up Nolan Arenado for a bunch of nothings. Well, I mean, they're prospects, but Nolan Arenado is the type of player that you hang his jersey on the wall type of thing. This is like their franchise best player of all time, and they trade him away for minor leaguers. And they gave money to the Cardinals on top of it all. The Padres are making moves. They made great moves. They got Blake Snell. They got Blake Snell and Yu Darvish, 2 aces to go with Lamet. They got Paddock. This is a good squad. The Padres are good. The Dodgers are amazing. I mean, let's be real here, though. Trevor Bauer is the most overrated pitcher of all time. It pisses me off that a player like him gets so much money, because what it does is it kind of ruins baseball a little bit, because, well, yes, he had a good season last year. By no means has he been a good pitcher in his career. He's had like 1 or 2 good seasons out of 5 or 6, or 2 out of 5, 2 out of 7, somewhere in that range. It's like, it's just so horrible to reward him with so much money. He's so hittable. He throws straight over the middle of the plate. People have been calling it down the dick, for a fastball down the middle, down the dick. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Anyways, yeah, National League Baseball this year is a kind of a travesty, to be honest. It really is, because you got a competitive division, then you have two other divisions that are just like, you already kind of know who the winner is before it begins. And while the Padres, yeah, they made some strides to be better, they're not better. Dodgers are such a complete team, and they spend way too much money. You know what? Baseball's got to do something about this salary cap thing. For them to sign Justin Turner for the amount of money they did, I believe they gave him anywhere from 14 to 18 million a year. When they got Rios, who's probably just as good as Justin Turner, maybe not as clutch, maybe not the veteran experience, but just as good. It's just like, come on, you got to bring these minor leaguers up, let them take over, let them do their things, and then have Justin Turner sign with the Pirates, and then let Justin Turner be the number 3 hitter of the Pirates, and the Pirates have like a somewhat solid team. Though, to be honest, Colin Moran might hit more home runs than Justin Turner in all reality. So there's the National League for you. American League is coming to Beastdome. The Beastdome Fantasy Baseball Draft Guide is also coming by the end of this week. It'll be free. More details on that coming soon. All right, next topic, Draymond Green, the biggest, I'm not going to say a bad word here, but this guy should not open his mouth anymore. He really shouldn't. And it makes me hate the Warriors when I hear Draymond Green talk, because he is the one guy in the NBA who should probably not be talking more than anyone, just because without talent around him, Draymond Green would have been out of the NBA by now. I'll give Draymond the credit that he's got good vision, he's got good court vision, and he can make a good pass, and he can set a good pick. And yes, these are very valuable things, no doubt about it. But as far as skill goes, I mean, this guy lost to Kevin Hart. Yes, the comedian Kevin Hart, in a 3-point shootout at halftime of an All-Star game, or it's like whatever, some pre-game All-Star, halftime, one of the two. Anyways, Draymond Green cannot make open shots. He sees very little defensive attention because nobody respects his shot. But what he's good at is he's good at giving passes and setting picks. Now, what Draymond Green said last night really pissed me off. And I have not, honestly, I don't know why it pissed me off, but it just did. Basically, what he said is, so right now the Cleveland Cavaliers are trying to trade Andre Drummond away, right? And the Cavaliers have decided, hey, we're not going to play Drummond until we trade him. So then Draymond Green, which makes sense. It makes sense. Why play a player that you're trying to trade? So Draymond Green decided to say, hey, what about the Rockets chastising James Harden, or or whatever team Kyrie Irving on where he wants to trade? I don't know. Was it with Boston he wanted to trade? I feel like he played the whole season out with Boston and wanted to get traded after. Anyways, then he's chastising Kyrie Irving. They're saying Kyrie Irving gets chastised for sitting games out because of mental health. And you know what, Draymond Green, you have no room to talk here, because at the end of the day, NBA players are employees. They are employees, and the owners are the employers. So if I'm an employee and I decide, hey, I'm not going to go to work today because I want to find another job, well, guess what? My employer is not going to pay me, because that's just how it works. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. So now, yes, my boss could be like, hey, you got to show up. And so, okay, I'll show up, but I can be looking for another job and, do my job half-assed while I'm there. And, that's me showing up. That's what James Harden was doing with the Rockets at the end of his career. At the end of his tenure with the Rockets. And for Draymond to be like, hey, the NBA's got to be consistent about this because it hurts people's mental attitudes if they have to sit out because the team wants to trade him. Draymond Green, shut the fuck up, you piece of shit. Okay, it came out. I didn't want it to come out, but it came out. Draymond Green's got to shut up, bro. This guy is so stupid. He's so dumb. He's so dumb. He's got no talent at all. And at the end of the day, you're an employee who's getting paid millions of dollars to make a pass, Draymond Green. Stop talking about what employers should be, how they should treat their employees. You're a fucking NBA basketball player. And if a team wants you to play like the Rockets want James Harden to play, because people would not even watch the Rockets if James Harden wasn't even on the court, then James Harden's got to play. For Andre Drummond, for Blake Griffin, no one's even watching the Cavs and the Pistons to begin with. They don't need to play them. In fact, it's smart for them to hold their players out until they're traded. That's the way every team should do it if they're smart, because honestly, if James Harden would have gotten injured with the Rockets this season before he went to the Nets, then the Rockets wouldn't have been able to trade him. I mean, for what they got for him, they might as well not have traded him. But players, you gotta stop complaining if the team's making you play. Le'Veon Bell, classic example. I mean, Le'Veon Bell decided not to show up. The Steelers want him there. Le'Veon Bell wanted more money, but he didn't show up. So what happened? Le'Veon Bell didn't get paid. And now, arguably the best running back in the NFL 2 years ago, Le'Veon Bell, is now like what? Barely a backup running back now in football wherever he goes. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous how these players complain. Like, shut up and dribble and play. And I hate to be the guy that says shut up and dribble, because yeah, it feels a little racist to say stuff like that. But shut up and dribble. You're getting paid $1 million to play basketball, Draymond Green. No one cares what your opinion is. In fact, when people hear your opinion, it just makes them hate you even more. Players have to shut up. Like, honestly, look at the damage that was done during the whole COVID BLM movement by all the athletes who decide that they were going to be all political, and they turned off so many people. Me personally, you know what, whatever, they can say what they want. I'm happy that they get to say what they want. That's fine, you know, in that regards. I'm still gonna watch the game because I love the game more than anything. But they gotta just play the game. Like, just play the game and make your money. You know what they sound like to me when they say these stupid comments? It's like the Super Bowl streaker who told the world the day after the Super Bowl that he made $375K because he bet $50,000 that there'd be a streaker. And then once Bovada and other sports books heard about this, before they even paid out, they needed to do background checks to see the affiliation if people were affiliated with that guy. And if they were affiliated with that guy in any way, like in the same state, same like country, whatever, I don't even know what background checks they did. But apparently they withheld a ton of money that guy was supposed to get because, hey, he opened his mouth. He said something stupid. And anytime an NBA player has something to say that's outside of what happened in the game, they sound stupid. They just do. And I don't care what they say. I love pro athletes more than anything. I grew up idolizing these guys. And you know what? As sad as it is at 33 years old, I still kind of idolize these guys, without a doubt. I mean, I have Terrell Davis rookie cards and that are PSA graded all over, and I love them. These guys are my heroes. But Draymond Green's not a hero. And Draymond Green, out of all people who has zero skill besides being able to see the court well and make good passes, he's got to shut up. All right, Lakers. So Lakers lost Anthony Davis. Now LeBron James has to basically carry this Lakers squad through the regular season and the playoffs. Can he do it without Anthony Davis? I mean, it's an Achilles injury. It's probably season-ending, to be honest, because that guy is very fragile. And when he's got an Achilles injury, especially with his size, that's probably could be the end, unfortunately, for this season. I'm hoping for the best. As grew up in LA, born and bred a Lakers fan, through the Ryan Kelly days, through the Timothy Mozgov days, the Chris Kaman days. You know, but if I'm the Lakers, you got to make a trade and you got to get a superstar at the deadline. If the Lakers don't get a superstar at the deadline, they're like the stupidest franchise ever. And Jeannie Buss has to go as an owner, even though she won't. The only good thing Jeannie Buss has done in her lifetime is gotten rid of Jim Buss the previous owner, who was her brother, who spent something like $15 million a year on Luol Deng and Mozgov each $15 million a year. So Lakers, make a move, get Andre Drummond, get Blake Griffin. These guys are on sale. Get them both, and all of a sudden the Lakers have a stacked squad. If they had Blake Griffin and Drummond, Lakers wouldn't skip a beat. But we'll see how stupid NBA teams are, because so many pro sports, so many head coaches don't know what the fuck they're doing, and it's just stupid to watch. Honestly, like me, I see the game in a whole different light, and no one gets angry at coaches and GMs than me, because they honestly are most of them are stupid assholes that don't know a fuck about anything. So, with that being said, that is our heated BC Odds birthday version. I'm Muntradamus, and we'll see you again soon. Peace!